Welcome to the IndieWire Studio at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. My name is Ryan Lattanzio, and I'm the Deputy Editor of Film at IndieWire. And today I'm here with the cast of the new Sundance premiere together and the writer-director, Michael Shanks. And then we have Dave Franco and Alison Brie. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So no one really knows anything about this movie. Even the Sundance log line is extremely vague. Michael, what can you tell us? What genre are we in? Because I heard that it's not quite a horror movie, but it maybe has some supernatural element.
I'd pretty firmly bill it as a horror movie, but there's some romance. You know, it's a romantic horror movie. There's some body horror elements. There's some kind of sexy elements. There's some funny elements. You know, if you watch it, you'll laugh, you'll cry, it'll change your life.
Yeah. Well, so Michael, the project kind of came out of a partnership that you were in for a long time.
And still am in.
Right, okay, yeah.
She's right there.
Down the barrel
She's here.
Oh, hi, hey. What can you say about what you mined from your personal life for this story?
Well, Louis and I sort of started dating when we were both 18, and so I've never been an adult without Louis in my life. And as the years have ticked on over, now we're in our early 30s, and I was in sort of my late 20s when I kind of wrote the script. You kind of realize, like, wow, I really have never experienced a life sort of without this person. I don't know who I am without her. We eat the same food, have the same friends, breathe the same air. Like, it's hard to kind of tell where I end and she begins. And I thought that was an interesting way to kind of jump off to explore some anxieties about sort of wholly committing to a shared life with somebody.
Mm-hmm. And you met in some kind of like spring break context?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, like the least glamorous version of spring break, which is schoolies. In Australia. We had finished high school, and basically 12 of our friends went to a cool place called Brimley at a friend's like family like shack that was falling apart, and we just like drank wine out of sacks and sort of, and then that's when I met the love of my life.
We met each other at Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, well, I do know that story about how you two met, and it's kind of a good one. For this movie, obviously you're a real life couple playing a couple that's really going through it, and you think about like Eyes Wide Shut, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are like in similar kind of a situation. Did that test your relationship with each other at all?
I think we thought it might more than it did. I think you like to say that we went into it kind of knowing that because of the intimate nature of the film and how much time we would be spending together, even though we've worked together before. Dave likes to say we went into it knowing we would come out of it either getting divorced or being more codependent than ever.
The latter. It was the latter. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've worked together many times before. We've acted together in kind of much smaller ways, and so this was like the most full-on thing we've ever done together, and it was incredible. I mean, we're very picky.
I'm like, see?
We're very picky about what we choose to do, and especially when we're on screen together, just because we don't want to burn people out on us. And
or have it be distracting. Like a movie like this, the fact that we're a real life couple actually fuels the viewer's experience watching it, I think.
Because the couple in the movie has been together so long, and just the familiarity and comfortability with each other really lends itself to this specific film.
And at this point, it's such an asset for us. We've worked together a ton, especially having been directed by Dave twice and having written something together. We have such a shorthand with each other. Like, so in a quick shoot, run and gun kind of shoot like this, it's just like we're so in sync already, and we live together so we can spend our free time running lines, like falling asleep, being like, want to quickly rehearse that scene? Okay, let's run it.
It was necessary for this one. We shot this in 21 days.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And every single day there was either a heavy prosthetic or really intense stunt sequences. And so we had to go in knowing that we were going to get probably 1 to 2 takes per setup.
Absolutely.
But again, like when we're working together, I think I do my best work too, because I can't be fake. Anything inauthentic that comes out of me, she sees it, and so I think I'm my most
true.
I don't know, natural.
He is.
Right?
I mean, it's true for both of us. I think we bring the best out of each other as performers.
Well, when you are living together, you're shooting a movie together, it's like you're together for 24 hours. Is it really hard to locate the barrier between the performance and then, okay, we're off set and now we're home together cooking dinner or something?
Luckily our relationship is much healthier than the couple in the movies. So it wasn't difficult to kind of leave their relationship on set.
But when we shot this in Melbourne, which was incredible, and when we're on location and we're here for this movie, we really do live and breathe it, and we're like, so we're okay with the whole movie being our life. But but like when we're home and maybe we're writing something together, we need to kind of put up boundaries so we're not only talking about work.
And when he says we need to put up boundaries, he more means I need to put up boundaries, because Dave would just keep me writing at any
when I
second
find
of
a
the
good
day,
idea I like,
brushing our
let's go.
teeth.
What are we wasting our time for?
We're about to fall asleep. Babe, I just thought, in the second scene, in the third act, should we... Yeah.
Sorry for being diligent.
You are. You work very hard, and I love it.
Well, kind of to that note, Michael, so the movie shot in Melbourne. What is the location, and how kind of immersive did you allow the set to become?
Well, the location, it's set in America. We don't really kind of exactly specify whereabouts, but I think we settled on Pacific Northwest. Is that about right? Something like that, yeah. But in terms of the location, a lot of it takes place in a house. A lot of it takes place... We have some fantastic sets. We've got this great cave set, and also in the woods and kind of around the small town that our main couple moved to. One thing I'm really proud of is for this film being sort of the scale that it is. I think it feels a lot bigger than one would expect in terms of the amount of resources and the amount of time that we had. It's not just 2 actors in a house. It's much kind of bigger than that.
Also, the house we found is incredible, and we really utilize every part of the space. We were all over this house.
It was perfect. It was a little further away than we wanted
all of the house.
You might see every room in that house.
Every nook, every cranny.
I don't want to spoil the movie, but you're going to see a lot of rooms.
What's amazing, though, about shooting in Australia, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but, even though this was a relatively smaller movie budget-wise, we still got these crew members who work on the biggest movies out there, who were like excited to work on this little indie movie, and so we had just the most incredible crew, which we needed, because again, every day was a sprint and everyone was helping each other out. It was really wonderful.
Our production designer had just worked on like Mad Max, or like the
our prosthetics guy went from Furiosa to
and our production designer,
oh right,
of course, Nick. Yeah, we were very lucky to have this team to work with, and it was a real kind of team feeling with the crew. Like we all kind of buddied up. It was really nice.
Anytime the log line of a movie is like a couple moves to the countryside to work out their issues, you just know it's going to go really badly. And I think of like Antichrist. Were there movies that were kind of touchstones for you as you were developing?
I was just trying to find Antichrist on streaming, and it's nowhere. And I bought the DVD.
You wanted to have like a casual afternoon.
Antichrist.
Have you seen it?
No, and I'm nervous. I'm scared.
So you're a fan of that one.
Well, the truth is, I actually have never seen it, and so the DVD's sitting there waiting for us when we get home.
You need to see that one. Yeah, that's a really that's a wild
bring you back down.
References for this, I think, X-Men 2?
X-Men 2, X2, and X3, X-Men United was a big one for me.
I do want to say, yes, there's so many log lines for horror movies that are like, they go to the middle of nowhere and things go wrong. I promise you will see things in this movie you have never seen in a horror movie. Shanks comes from he comes from a VFX background, and I can't spoil anything, but it's just so beautifully done, and I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, like on the log line, one of the things I really like about horror is that, say, contrary to like some sorts of fantasy and some sort of science fiction, you can really have something take place in the real world, and then there's just like one thing that's wrong about it, and suddenly this real normal life like turns into these super crazy corners. So it's kind of by design that like the log line is like, the log line's kind of something you've maybe seen before, but wait till Act 1 ends, and then you're like, ugh.
I feel like at the moment, body horror is a really, and I don't know that that's what the movie totally is, but that is a popular genre to deal with contemporary anxieties right now. Why do you feel like that is?
I suppose perhaps there's something introspective about it, because in traditional horror, you're kind of running away from something. But with body horror, the thing that you're most afraid of is coming from inside, and you can't really change that. And that always is a more kind of compelling thing to me than running away from the monster necessarily.
Yeah. The cinematographer that you worked with, his name is Jermaine McMicking. Did I say that correctly? Okay. What were you kind of going after for the visual look of the movie?
I really like. It's an interesting question, because I'm not a huge fan of like extended handheld sequences of horror. I like kind of constructed shots and sort of like locked up shots, but then we have sequences where the camera movements have to kind of like match up with the energy. So it kind of evolves over the time as the film kind of begins a little more grounded and kind of gets more extreme. I think the camera moves really kind of up and up and match that energy. And also just like coming from like a really indie guerrilla background, where often like I'm running around shooting stuff with my friends who aren't actors, and I'm not a cinematographer. I was just like, this looks so cinematic. Like this looks just so pro. Like Jermaine is just like one of the best in the world, if not the best in Australia.
He's incredible. He has a great head of hair.
Great head of hair.
A very even-keeled temperament too.
yeah.
Even when we have 90 seconds left in our day, and he'd be like, we'll get the shot. Let's just, very calm. Also, he had 2 beautiful cats that he let Dave and I come to his house and visit and hold them.
Yeah.
And then you went to pet the 3rd cat, but it was a possum.
It was a possum.
That's true.
That was
we didn't
Dave.
go to actually reach for it.
Dave said, what's that cat?
I go, is that one of the cats?
Let me just say, the possums in Australia are much cuter than
That's
the
true.
opossums
yes.
in North America.
I don't associate possums as a cute animal.
They come on down under, mate.
We're going to prove you wrong after this interview.
Oh, yeah.
Had you guys shot anything before in Australia?
I had shot the limited series Apples Never Fall for
course.
Peacock in Australia, kind of just a few months before we shot this. So I had spent 5 to 6 months on the Gold Coast, and then we shot this in Melbourne. So like very different. Places.
Yeah. Biomes, temperatures, temperaments, people, personalities.
But I loved them both. I mean, even while I was shooting Apples Never Fall, I was trying to convince Dave to move to Australia.
Still is.
And yes, but then you got to, I didn't have to do as much convincing, because once you came down to Melbourne, you were like, I see why you love it here.
Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for coming in. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.